My younger son just sent me a photograph of his kid Joe winning a prize in his Cub Scout uniform. And it's hard for me to express what that picture did. I was thrilled.
Don't have to go much further than a scout meeting to be an optimist. And look at these young people volunteering, working as hard as they do, nights, weekends. That is a very optimistic outlook.
Scouting not only affects an individual, it affects an entire community.
This is the bus stop challenge. Whatever the therapist says, the patient has to put that certain amount, let's just say it's 50 cents. So we have 1 quarter, 2 quarter. And then they can open up the ticket slot, bus ticket, and put it in this slot.
LUCA came to us with some ideas about what he wanted to do, and he really asked for our advice. What do we need? You know, what do we as therapists need out here?
The goal of what LUCA has done here is that we have this challenge course that introduces them to concepts and problem solving before they're out on their own in the community.
I marvel at how any young boy could do that. He is to be commended.
In 2010, the Denver Area Council had over 550 Eagle Scouts. We just looked at the number of service hours they did, but the financial impact on the Denver community was over $2.5 million.
For us, scouting is a huge way of preparing him for the future.
The 2 biggest major motivators for this project, they were food and power equipment. You say those 2 things, all the boys in the troop will come running.
One of the misnomers is that scouting is an outdoor recreation program. That's the carrot we use for the kids.
Scouting is a catalyst for kids to get into a different kind of environment to hopefully positively change their mindset and outlook on their own life, and then in the process being able to acquire certain skills or experiences that will put them on a positive and constructive path going forward.
The idea behind an Eagle Service project is pretty much to help the community and put something in that's going to last a while.
There were a lot of pieces that went into this project. It wasn't just putting up a fence.
I'd say each scout in the troop, on average, accumulates, I'd say, about 50 hours of service a year.
You can see a lot of growth through the process.
We end up doing about 3 major projects like this a year.
Scouting is a great thing to support for people in life, whether they advance to being the President of the United States or just being a good parent.
Just do a good turn daily. That pretty much gets the job done. It makes you feel good, and it helps your community and makes other people feel good.
I'm kind of proud that Ryan's able to be 2nd generation Eagle.
What I've done personally through a uniform purchase program that we're doing through the Scouts, I've been able to help, particularly in the inner city, young Scouts get involved and get the full uniform that they need. You know, the Boy Scout belt and the Boy Scout socks and the scarf and the slide and the book and all of the things that come along with scouting. Growing up, that was a situation that I was faced with, and I think it's an obstacle that I can help remove to get more kids involved with scouting, and in fact, in the inner city, it's working.
Scouting truly does open doors.
We think it's just for American because we're in USA, no? They teaching us or they showing us that it's for Hispanic people too.
We had a media blitz to the Hispanic market and showing what Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts has to offer. We recruited over 350 kids in the past 8 months and started 20 units being Cub Scout packs and Boy Scout troops.
Kids are going to join something. They have a need to belong to something. And rather than have them find it on their own, why not let's get them started early in scouting?
We sit down with organizations and we look at our communities and we say, what do you need?
I think anytime you can be around something that's not like you, that you grow as a person and the group grows.
On my honor, I will do my best. And that's so important to recognize because really the best for one scout may be very different than the best for another scout.
Everybody's going to have their own set of strengths and weaknesses, and you just emphasize their strengths and work on their weaknesses.
Hey Zeb, way to go Zeb, that's really neat to see.
A big part of our engagement in scouting has to do with the recognition that youth is the future of mankind.
Exploring is a career awareness program. It allows students that are 14 to 20 to evaluate a career.
We teach teamwork, and I think that's essential and nowadays, for any success.
It's kind of, ensuring that we're all working together to make sure that people are going to be doing the jobs that we're going to need in the future.
When I turned 14, I was able to join the venturing program.
The young women can gain the same things from this program that the young men can. It's the same set of values, it's the same kind of leadership-based, exciting program for them to be a part of.
I got introduced to the camp, and I saw what these camp leaders were doing with young people from all over the Denver area. And I thought, this is wonderful. And there was a challenge. How can we maintain the quality of these young people and maybe improve it? And my wife and I endow scholarships to kids that are potential leaders of the community that are in the scout camps and donate their time.
We could talk about the feel-good success of scouting. We could point to scouts and we could show pictures of scouts, but really where the rubber meets the road is, what are you doing?
It's rewarding them, which encourages them to continue being leaders.
There's lots of great organizations out there, nonprofits. There's lots of nonprofits that are feel-good. But at the end of the day, you'd say, well, what have you really accomplished? And all of us are busy. All of us really value our time, our talent, our treasures. We want to invest in something that's successful.
One of the beauties, I think, of scouting is that it brings kids in from all walks of life, and at a very young age, before they've developed any bias, they recognize that, hey, we're all just a human being on this great earth, and things work better when we work together.
There are a lot of organizations that are their hands have been overplayed. But with scouting, it's not the case. It's maybe underplayed.
Scouting's needed, and scouting has needs. And you need to look and say, what can I do?